everyone, and welcome to the Room of Requirement. My name is Megan, and I have over 25 years of occult and esoteric study and practice, and today I'm going to be talking about astrology. So this is going to be a 4-part series. I'm going to break it up into 4 separate videos because I didn't want it to be too long. So we're just going into the introduction stages of astrology. So once you get into the more advanced levels, which we'll probably touch on towards the end when I get into like 3 and 4, you'll have a better understanding of astrology and why it's important to master astrology, especially if you're on a spiritual or magical path. So I hope you guys enjoy this one, and let's go ahead and dive right in. By the way, if this is the first time you're coming across one of my videos, welcome. I'm glad to have you here. I wanted to thank all my current subscribers, all my new subscribers, and this channel is very eclectic. I cover everything from mysticism to the occult, the esoteric, magic, meditation, everything. If you're into that sort of thing, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe. If you guys would like the video and comment, it's going to help it grow. I would really appreciate that. Okay, so let's just go ahead and dive right in. So astrology as the foundation of esoteric practice. So at the heart of esotericism lies the principle of correspondence, as above, so below. Astrology embodies this maxim, offering a map of the heavens that reflects and influences the inner landscape of the soul. Through understanding planetary cycles, zodiac signs, and aspects, the practitioner gains insight into the rhythms of life, karmic lessons, and opportunities for growth. When starting out on a spiritual or magical path, there are some foundational subjects that you have to master so you can understand the more advanced teachings. Astrology, along with the elements and numerology, will create a strong foundational knowledge needed to progress. So these are the key components of any system. So when you're starting out on a path, you want to understand all the deeper, more advanced teachings. It helps to master these 3 subjects first. I am a mentor. Whenever I start teaching somebody when they're starting on a path, I always start with these 3 subjects first. Okay, so you might want to grab a pen and paper for this because I'm going to be going over a lot. So I'm going to be talking about the planetary meanings, the house meanings, and the zodiacal meanings for this one in particular. Okay, so correspondences between astrology and other esoteric schools, and Kabbalah. So if you're practicing high magic like I am, this astrology is, it permeates the entire system, okay? Because we learn about tarot and alchemy and Kabbalah, Hermeticism, and numerology as well, which ties into Gematria. Okay, so astrology plays a vital role in Jewish mysticism, where the planets correspond to the Sephirot on the Tree of Life. Each zodiac sign relates to specific paths and energies, assisting practitioners in spiritual ascent. In alchemy and alchemical lore, planets are linked to metals and processes of transformation. For example, the sun corresponds to gold and enlightenment, while Saturn represents lead and the challenges of material existence. Understanding astrological cycles helps the alchemists time their work for optimal results. So this is like when you're working with planetary hours. Another example would be, so my personal archangel is Zadkiel. If I want to work with his energy, I'm going to do that on a Monday at 6 a.m. So knowing all of these things so that you can understand deeper advanced teachings like that when you get out on your esoteric path, it's going to make it a lot easier for you to understand. So that's why I'm very adamant about learning these 3 subjects, especially when you're starting out. Tarot, we have a lot of correspondences there. So the tarot is deeply intertwined with astrology, with cards representing zodiac signs and planetary forces. For instance, the Empress is associated with Venus and the Hermit with Virgo, revealing layers of meaning for divination and meditation. Hermeticism. Astrology is integrated into Hermetic philosophy, which emphasizes on the macrocosm and the microcosm. The 7 classical planets correspond to the 7 chakras, the days of the week, and other symbolic systems, creating a unified spiritual framework. Numerology. Numbers, planets, and signs are interconnected in esoteric numerology. The number 7, for example, is sacred due to its association with the 7 classical planets, the 7 days of creation, and the 7 stages of spiritual development. It also is the 7 stages of alchemy as well. So why astrology is essential for mastery of the esoteric path. Astrology is not merely a tool for prediction, but a comprehensive guide for self-realization. So here are several reasons why it's indispensable for esoteric mastery. Self-knowledge. Birth charts reveal psychological archetypes and spiritual lessons, helping practitioners understand their strengths, weaknesses, and soul purpose. Timing of rituals. Astrological cycles, such as lunar phases or planetary retrogrades, are crucial for planning rituals, magical workings, and initiatory experiences. Working with these cycles produces more potent results. Balancing energies. By understanding the planetary influences at play, esoteric practitioners can harmonize their inner and outer worlds, integrating shadow and light. Integration with other systems. Astrology serves as a universal key to decipher the symbols and correspondences in other occult and mystical systems, making it possible to synthesize various teachings into a coherent path. Spiritual evolution. Astrology maps out the cycles of growth, challenge, and transformation, enabling seekers to navigate the journey from ignorance to enlightenment. So I also do natal charts. It's one of the services I offer. When I do these, I can look at them intuitively, and I can tell at what point in your life that you went through certain aspects, certain transits, things like that. So when you dive deep and you learn all this stuff and you start looking at your own natal chart, you will figure out things about yourself that you didn't even realize. You're not just your sun sign, you're your moon, your rising, your planetary placements. These things can give you keys or time frames as to certain things that you'll go through. So if you have things like cradles in your natal chart, this is a certain aspect of different planets creating a certain shape. Those are points in your life where you needed to embody more maturity, depending on what house and sign it's in, what degree it's in, all of those different things. You can see when you've met those milestones and if you haven't met certain milestones. Usually just by asking the person a few questions, I can figure out if they've been through that or not, or if they've met that challenge and beat it, things like that. So it's really complex. Astrology is complex, and a lot of people are intimidated by it. But once you learn the foundational things, like the house meanings, the planet meanings, and the zodiacal meanings, then it's easier to start understanding the decans and different configurations and all of those things. It's not as hard as people think, but all you have to do is just memorize the basics first and just start working with it all the time and learning those meanings, and then it becomes way easier to learn the more advanced things when you hit astrology. Okay, so astrology as a living tradition. As science has evolved, so too has astrology. Modern esoteric schools continue to integrate astrological wisdom with psychology, spirituality, and quantum theory, while ancient traditions preserve its symbolic language and ritual applications. Whether through meditation, ritual, or personal reflection, astrology remains a living tradition, guiding those on an esoteric path towards greater self-awareness and cosmic harmony. Astrology is the connective tissue linking diverse esoteric traditions. Its symbols and cycles serve as guides for personal transformation, spiritual mastery, and the understanding of universal truths. For those seeking to walk the esoteric spiritual path, astrology is not just beneficial, it is essential. And I 110% agree with that. So, exploring the ancient art of celestial interpretation. Astrology, a practice rooted in observation of celestial patterns, has fascinated humanity for thousands of years. It's both an art and a science, attempting to understand how the positions and movements of stars and planets influence events on Earth, including individual personalities and life experiences. Whether viewed as a tool for self-discovery or a window into cosmic connection, astrology provides a unique lens through which people explore their place in the universe. So as you incarnate, your soul literally passes through the constellation in which you were born, and it takes on its qualities, making you, you. And yes, we do pick our astrological signs before we reincarnate. And so these things are not mainstream. This is more kind of esoteric, but we do literally pick everything. We pick our name, we pick our family, we pick everything. A lot of people think these things are just left up to chance, but we pick these things for specific reasons and specific signs so that it will give us foundations to complete our mission and go through the things that we came here to complete. So we will set up our astrology specifically for those strengths and weaknesses so that we can work through those things. So astrology is the study of relationship between celestial phenomena and human life. At its core, astrologers analyze the positions of the sun, moon, planets, and stars at specific times, most notably at the moment of one's birth. So your natal chart is a snapshot. It is a photo of exactly what was going on in the sky the moment you took your first breath. Most notably at the moment of one's birth, to create a detailed map of influences known as a natal chart. These charts serve as a blueprint of potentialities, highlighting traits, tendencies, and challenges. Astrology is based on the belief that the cosmos and humanity are interconnected, reflecting the ancient adage, as above, so below. It is not religion, though historically it is often intertwined with spiritual beliefs. Instead, astrology is a symbolic language, rich with archetypes and metaphors, offering insights into life's rhythms. A brief history of astrology. So astrology has been used for thousands and thousands of years, at least 7,000 years or more. Is really kind of came into being in the Chaldean times. So you had Sumeria, you had the Assyrians, the Akkadians, and Babylon, and Egypt, and the Greece and Rome. And then it came into play really big time in the Renaissance era. So a lot of Renaissance era magicians, they were very well versed in astrology. It was actually part of the curriculum. If you were going to be a doctor, you had to know astrology because a lot of them used herbology and astrology to heal their patients. So the origins of astrology can be traced back to ancient civilizations, including Babylon, Egypt, Greece, and India. Babylonians were among the first to systematically record celestial events, linking them to patterns on Earth. Around 2000 BCE, their observations laid the foundation for Western astrology. The Greeks refined astrology into a formal discipline, blending it with philosophy and mathematics. Figures such as Ptolemy contributed to the legitimacy of organizing astrological principles in his work. The Tetrabiblos, meanwhile, in the East, Indian astrology or Vedic astrology flourished, deeply connected to Hindu beliefs about karma and the cycles of reincarnation. Chinese astrology, based on the lunar calendar and the zodiacal animals, developed independently and focused on cycles of time in harmony with nature. So there's several types of astrology, and there's more than this, but these are the main ones. So there's tropical, which is used mostly in the West. That's what I use. That's what most people in the West use. And there's sidereal, and it works off current planet transits. So tropical is fixed. Sidereal is going to be going with the current transits that are going on at the time that you check the chart. And then there's Chinese, and it's ancient, and they use animals in place. And then there's Vedic or Hindu. And then there's Chaldean. It's the most ancient, and it's the most like Western or tropical. So that's basically what I go by. So you are not just your sun sign. Your sun sign isn't the only thing that defines you. The moment you were born, the stars marked you with their own special energy, which can be discovered and analyzed through your birth chart. By delving deeper into astrology, you can gain a better understanding of your inner self and open doors up to self-discovery. In addition to your sun sign, the two main astrological placements that define your essence are your moon and rising sign. These three placements, known as the big three, act as your soul blueprint. So you have to have your exact time of birth, and you have to have your birth date, the city and state you were born in, country, if you're, across the seas, and then your exact time of birth. You can find this on your birth chart, not on your birth chart, your birth certificate if you don't know. This is going to give you the most accurate reading for your moon sign, which basically changes every 2.5 to 3 days. And then you also have like a 2 to 3 hour window for your moon and rising as well. So if you don't have that, usually astrologers will default to 12 noon. And that's not going to be as accurate as it can be. I realize that some people, either they were adopted or they lost their stuff in a house fire or, something like that. So you can get a roundabout, pretty general natal chart reading that way, but you have to know your exact time of birth because that's what's going to really make it accurate, especially for your rising. Okay, so your big three refers to your birth chart's three most important placements: your sun, your moon, and your rising. In astrology, your sun sign represents your core identity. Your moon sign represents your emotion and inner self. And your rising sign represents your first impression on the world. So your birth chart has multiple planetary placements, each providing insights into your personality and life's destiny. But before we dive deeper into your birth chart, finding your sun, moon, and rising is key to knowing yourself better. So your sun sign, it's your heart and your ego expression. So it's like your default. Your sun sign is the placement that even the most casual astrology enthusiast or skeptic knows about themselves. Your sun sign is the part of your personality that spends the most time in the spotlight. It is your true essence of self. It's your identity, your ego energy. When you are operating at the highest expression of your true self and in your groove, you fully embody your sun sign. Your sun sign dictates other things too, like your inner creative voice and how to chase after all the things your heart desires. Like the sun in the sky, your sun sign shines bright and sets the tone for the rest of your chart. So it's like your default. That's what you're always going to go back to. Your moon sign is your emotional landscape. So it's who you are at home with your family, and it's how you express your emotions, things like that. So usually somebody won't see your moon sign unless they're very close to you. So your moon sign indicates your inner world, emotions, and intuition. It's like the dark side of the moon, hidden from the chaos of daily life, but it affects how we navigate life. Your moon sign also determines how you respond emotionally to situations such as joy, disappointment, and pain. Additionally, your moon sign can strongly impact how your sun sign is expressed compared to the rest of your birth chart. If your sun and moon signs are different elements or different signs, it can create inner emotional conflict, but if they work together in harmony, it can enhance the positive energy of both placements. Your rising sign, your energetic signature. So this is what you put out to the world. When people first meet you, they're going to think that you are your rising sign. So your rising sign, aka the ascendant, is your energetic signature and gets its name from the zodiac sign rising on the eastern horizon at the moment you were born. Now, this is always going to fall in your first house. Okay, so whatever your first house is, that's going to be your rising sign, because that's the house of self. You know when you meet someone for the first time and you get a specific impression of them, the energy you're picking up from them is probably a reflection of your rising sign. Of all the big three placements, the rising sign changes the most frequently, about every 2 hours, making it very important to the flavor of your sun and moon placements. Okay, so there are 3 modalities. 4 zodiac signs out of the 12 get dumped into one of these 3 categories or modalities. Okay, so cardinal signs, they are the tip of the spear, the cutting edge that paves the way for other signs to follow. Cardinal signs are the first ones to jump off the couch, if they were ever on it in the first place, and say, let's go. Because they are such pioneers, they can face lots of resistance, but they are more than suited to take on any doubts. Fixed signs, they maintain what is already in existence, and they keep the fires burning. They are the ones that plant their feet in the earth and dare you to try to move them. Because they hold together what wishes to fly apart, they operate from sheer force of will, however difficult it is. They are masters of powering through. Mutable signs. They direct energy like Wing Chun masters, using the opponent's force against them. They go with the flow and accept the constantly changing forces of life. Because they react to the exterior world, they can sometimes feel buffeted by the winds of change, but their sensitivity to the flow of life makes them more than capable of catching the right wave. So I'm going to tell you what signs are which. We are about to get into that. Okay, so the zodiac is divided into 12 signs, each with unique traits and correspondences. Each sign is associated with one of 3 modalities: cardinal, fixed, or mutable. So we have Aries, that usually starts off the year. We usually think of January the 1st as the new year, but the actual new year, especially in magical systems, is going to be Aries season. So that's going to be March 21st to April 19th. The modality is cardinal. Their traits are energetic, assertive, and courageous. Their element is fire, and their ruling planet is Mars. So once I get through all of this, and you can put all this information together that I'm giving you, you'll know the zodiacal meanings and traits, you'll know the house meanings, and you'll know the planetary meanings, and that's where you need to start. Okay, so we have Taurus, April 20th to May 20th. Its modality is fixed earth. Its traits are reliable, patient, practical, and the ruling planet is Venus, the planet of love and beauty. Then we have Gemini, May 21st to June 20th. The modality is mutable. Their traits are adaptable, communicative, curious. Their element is air, and their ruling planet is Mercury, which is a planet of communication. Cancer, June 21st to July 22nd. Modality is cardinal. The traits are nurturing, sensitive, compassionate. So these are the empaths of the zodiac. Their element is water, and their ruling planet is the moon. So the Cancer is the only sign that's ruled by the moon, and Leo is the only sign ruled by the sun. The rest of them are different planets. Leo, July 23rd to August 22nd. It's fixed, fire. They are confident, charismatic, and generous, and their ruling planet is the sun. Virgo, August 23rd to September 22nd. Their modality is mutable. Their traits are analytical, meticulous, practical. They are earth, and their ruling planet is Mercury. Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd. Modality is cardinal. Their traits are diplomatic, fair-minded, and social. Element of air, ruled by the planet Venus. Scorpio, October 23rd to November 21st. Fixed water. Traits are intense, passionate, and resourceful. Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. Mutable. The traits are optimistic, adventurous, and philosophical. Element of fire, and the ruling planet is Jupiter, one of my favorite zodiac signs. Capricorn, December 22nd to January 19th. Modality is cardinal. Traits are disciplined, ambitious, and responsible. The element is earth, and the ruling planet is Saturn. Aquarius, fixed air, January 20th to February 18th. Traits are independent, innovative, and humanitarian. These are the humanitarians of the zodiac. They're hard to figure out, because they're always in their head a lot. The ruling planet is Uranus. Pisces, the psychics of the zodiac, February 19th to March 20th. Modality is mutable. Traits are compassionate, artistic, intuitive, element of water, and the ruling planet is Neptune. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have heard of this or not. Usually, if you're probably watching something like this, you've heard of the 13th zodiac, Ophiuchus. There's a lot of debate out there as to what it exactly is. I know the Chaldeans left it out of the mix. They say it's a new discovery, but I think people have known about this for a really long time, about our constellations in the sky. But it's the newest zodiac sign, so it's called the Serpent Bearer, and it is in between Sagittarius and Scorpio. And the Chaldeans like things even, so they wanted to leave out this 13th zodiac sign because it would throw everything off. In the next slide, I'm about to tell you if we had Ophiuchus in there, what you would be. So I'm a Scorpio, and if we threw in the 13th zodiac sign, that would kick me up to being a Virgo, right? So it's going to put you like 2 to 3 signs out, and Scorpio would only be a week long. So I can see why they left it out. It's enigmatic. It's mysterious. There's different views on what it is exactly. I think it's kind of like a way station in between leaving here and, the construct. I think we have 12 dimensions, and the 13th is the firmament. And so I think it's connected to that. I think that we are all influenced. I think every realm of this construct and all of us down to our bodies are influenced by these 12 realms, and the 13th being the firmament, because I think everything was built off of astrology. I think astrology goes way deeper than people think it is. Throughout my studies, throughout the years, I've really come to understand how much astrology has really been baked into the fabric of us and this place that we live in. I see it everywhere. Once you get farther enough along on this esoteric path and you start reading symbolism and having out-of-body experiences and all of these different things, you see that it's everywhere and it has influenced everything. And we've been, even today in this modern era, we still are super into astrology and realize how connected it is and how connected we are with it, and how it flavors and influences everything, because as above, so below. Those are just some theories that I've come to believe over the years with my study. Maybe that'll spark a little curiosity for you guys, and you'll kind of take a deep dive on that. If you have any questions about it, let me know. So a recently discovered constellation has thrown astrologers for a loop and confused astro enthusiasts about how this might change their sun sign in their birth chart. So let us introduce to you Ophiuchus, the newest zodiac sign. Ophiuchus is the large constellation in the celestial equator between the constellation Scorpius and Sagittarius. For that reason, it is considered a potential 13th zodiac sign. Ophiuchus comes from the Greek word ophiukos, which translates to serpent bearer. This may be the reason why the sign is represented as a man or woman grasping a snake. Okay, so if you're born between November 29th and December 17th, that's you, Sag. You have a completely new zodiac sign with new traits and elements to explore. Ophiuchus is unique in many ways, but one difference is that it's much shorter sun cycle than the other 12 zodiac signs. While it takes the sun 30 days to move around one zodiac sign, it only takes the sun 18 days to move through Ophiuchus from November 29th to December 17th. While this can come as quite a shock to Sagittarian natives, don't think you're out of the woods just yet. If the 13th zodiac sign is added to the wheel, all signs will have new dates, meaning many sun signs would change. So here are the dates. So if we added Ophiuchus in, Aries would be April 18th to May 13th. Taurus would be May 14th to June 21st. Gemini, June 22nd to July 20th. Cancer would be July 21st to August 10th. Leo would be August 11th to September 16th. Virgo, September 17th to October 30th. Libra would be October 31st to November 23rd. Scorpio would only be November 24th to November 28th. Ophiuchus would be November 29th to December 17th. Sagittarius would be December 18th to January 20th. And Capricorn, 21st to 16th. See, that throws me way off. It throws me so off from everything I've learned. But that's what the 13th zodiac sign is, you guys. My personal opinion and the new findings. They don't really have any information on the traits, but what they do say is that it would combine the traits of Scorpio and Sagittarius together to make the traits for the new sign. Okay, so astrology divides the sky into 12 sections known as houses, each representing different aspects of life. Okay, so first house, this is going to be where your rising sign always is. So it's self and appearance. The second house is finances and possessions. The third house is about communication and siblings. The fourth house is home and family. The fifth house is creativity and children. The sixth house is health and service. The seventh house is partnerships and marriage. The eighth house is transformation and shared resources. The ninth house is philosophy and travel. The 10th house is career and public image. The 11th house is friends and social groups, and the 12th house is about spirituality and the subconscious. So these are just some basic meanings, you guys. I just kind of want to give you an idea of what these houses represent. There's more meanings to these, but I wanted to keep this a little bit. I didn't want to go too far off into the weeds. Okay, so basically when you're looking at a natal chart here, this is an empty one here on the left. So you have everything is sectioned off here. The first house always begins in Aries because that's the first of the year, but that's when it's empty, right? Your first house is going to be whatever your rising sign is. So I'm Scorpio and I'm a Gemini rising and my moon is in Virgo. So my first house has Gemini in it, right? So basically you have these right here in the middle. These are the numbered ones. These are the different houses. These are split up into 12 different signs, okay? And then you have your signs on the outside, and every chart is going to look completely different. It's not going to look just like this. So depending on how your chart is laid out, what your rising sign is and where your sun sign is, they're going to be in different numbered houses. So that also takes on an additional meaning. The one on the right here has the ruling planet for each zodiac sign based on astrology with the houses, okay? I just kind of wanted to throw that in there so you guys get used to looking at this natal charts. If you're going to look up your own natal chart, I would highly recommend Astro Charts, ASTRO charts.com, or Cafe Astrology is really, really good. Usually when I do charts for someone, I pull both charts on both sites, and I will look at, because I like different things about the different websites that what they provide. So you're going to get a lot more information about like conjunctions and aspects and configurations on astro charts. But if you're looking for something more in like paragraph form to explain to you what those conjunctions mean, then you'll use Cafe Astrology. I also want to recommend an app that's absolutely fantastic. It's called The Pattern. You can get that on Apple, or if you have an Android, whatever the Play Store, I think it is. So download that app. It's free. You can punch in your information. It'll pull up your chart, and it has all kinds of really cool stuff. It gives you daily vibes of what's going on with you, what's impacting you for different transits. But that's really cool. So check that out. Okay, so these are the planetary glyphs. Okay, so when you're looking at a chart, a lot of times these will show up and you're like, okay, well, what do these mean? So this is a chart of the different planetary meanings. It also includes Chiron and your north and south nodes. So when these show up, you're going to see glyphs. You're not going to see the names for the planets themselves. You're going to see these glyphs. So memorizing these glyphs and getting familiar with those is going to help you be able to read charts. Okay, so the planets and their meanings. The sun, it symbolizes identity and ego. The moon symbolizes emotions and instincts. Mercury is the communication and intellect. Venus is love and beauty. Mars is action and desire. Jupiter is growth and expansion. Saturn is discipline and responsibility. It's also a very constrictive planet. It's a very challenging planet, especially if you have like for me, I have Jupiter and Saturn conjunct, which is not good. So basically, I have the planet of expansion fighting with the planet of lack, right? So I'm always kind of, butting heads with that type of energy. It's like feast or famine, for an example. Then we have Uranus. It symbolizes innovation and change. Neptune is dreams and intuition. Pluto is transformation and power. So each sign has a ruling planet, like I said before. So if you look at the zodiacal sign, and then you look at the planetary meaning, and then you look at the house that it's in, and then you can even go even further and look at the decan that it falls in, which I'll be discussing probably in part 3 or 4. That's a really cohesive, comprehensive, harmonic signature that you have to your chart that's going to give you a lot of information about yourself to all those placements. Okay, guys, so that's all I have for you right now. I wanted to break it up, like I said, into 4 parts. I didn't want it to be too long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, I would really appreciate it if you would do so. Liking the video and commenting, even if you just say thank you, it really helps push that video out there. All right, you guys, so I will see you next time. There will be a video posted up next Sunday for Astrology Part 2. I'll see you guys later. Bye.